What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal host, myself, Alpha Dog Bets, here with JD from Line Movers, and we also have a special guest today. We have Hefe Picks coming in live to give us some winners. Hefe, we appreciate you tuning in. How are you, brother?
Thanks for having me back, guys. Looking forward to talking, which is honestly a good slate of baseball today. Really solid.
Absolutely. We have a great slate of baseball today. JD, I feel like you haven't lost a bet in 2 years. We've been saying that for about 2 months. You keep on this insane heater. How are you today? You ready to give the people some winners?
Yeah, man, I am absolutely great. Just on one of those runs right now that's just like an unreal run. One of those, yeah, it's actually just nuts, man. So yeah, like everything's great.
You must be in a great mood when we're on those runs. Nothing in the world can bother you when that's happening, and that's awesome. The people appreciate it. I know we appreciate it. Keep killing it. Hefe, I know last night we got to enjoy the Jets 49ers game together. I know you must be excited as Jake Moody was your kicker, bringing you to a big fantasy win. That was crazy to watch. Any thoughts about that game from last night before we head into baseball?
I'll give you just one quick thought. You know, the Jets looked rusty, and that's fine. That's understandable. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in a real game in, I think it was like 500 days. I'm not counting last year, week 1. The problem is that the Jets are considered a Super Bowl contender. They can't look that bad against another Super Bowl contender. I heard a great line. If it was the Bears who played the Niners yesterday, you'd be like, you know what? They're young. They got to get themselves together. They got a few years. Aaron Rodgers is 40. They got 0 time. Next week is about as big of a week for a week 2 team that I could ever think of. They got to get that win.
I think so as well. They definitely looked a little rusty. I know they have, I believe it's 3 new offensive linemen or guys coming back from injury. So that does take some time, but that does not excuse the defense for not being able to make any tackles. The 49ers look pretty good. JD, any thoughts from you about that game last night?
Yeah, man. I didn't think it would. Actually, like as far as actually like Niners go, like I actually thought like they would win. I actually like had that play. I didn't think it was going to happen quite like that. Through like the second quarter on, it was just not even close.
Yep.
So yeah, it's actually going to be like interesting to actually see the Jets.
I agree, and it'll be interesting to cap going forward. How are people going to play them? What's the line going to be this week? More to come. You know, this show Across the Board covers the NFL as well, so this weekend or when we get close to it, we'll be all over that, getting into it. But, boys, we have a beautiful 5-game slate we are going to be covering. You ready to dive into it?
Let's go.
Sure.
Let's do it, gentlemen. First game we have on the slate today is going to be the Rays, who are visiting Philly, taking on the Phillies. Pitching for the Rays, Taj Bradley. He's coming in 6-10 with a 4.4 ERA. On the other side, Ranger Danger Suarez coming in 12-6 with a sub-3 ERA. His ERA is low, all the way at a 2.9. He's been fantastic. Hefe, as our guest, what do you like in this one? Phillies are a pretty big favorite.
Phillies are a pretty big favorite. They're at home. They play so much better at home. But both these teams have kind of struggled to score in their last few games, respectively. With Suarez pitching at home behind that crowd, I think you keep that Rays lineup kind of quiet. But also the Phillies bats haven't been impressing me of late, to be honest. So I'm actually going to take the under here, 7.5.
Well, I like it. Well, I don't love it. People do know on this show I don't play anything at a 7.5, but this one does look like it's a potential one to go low. To me, the question's all about Taj Bradley. How's he going to pitch in this game? I did look at the total. I originally did look at the over, but then with the recent form of these teams, it just kind of prevented me from taking that. You take a look at the Rays. Their last game only had 3 runs in it. The game before only had 2. On the other side, the Phillies, the Phillies have had low games as well, so I didn't want to target any of the totals. I am going to take the Phillies on the run line here. You can get that at a pretty decent plus money here. You get that at a plus 130, the minus 1.5. The Phillies are the much better team, and Hefe did put it perfectly. This team at home is a completely different beast. They're 48-25 on the year, which is best in baseball. And this Rays team has always been a team that has struggled on the road. This year, they're about a 500 ball club at home compared to on the road. They're 71-73 on the year. However, it's a really tough matchup, and they're pitching one of their worst pitchers in Taj Bradley, who they've had no success when he's been on the bump. So give me the Phillies on the run line. Definitely a play I love today. JD, any action from you in the opening game?
Yes, definitely. I've actually faded Taj his last 6 starts. He's actually given up 3 or more runs in his last 7 starts. Probably probably actually where I'm actually going to go here. I'm going to go with the Phillies in the first 5. I'm going to go with their team total over 2.5 runs at plus 125. To me, that is a crazy line. And why I think we're getting it is that Taj did, I believe, as far as strikeouts, I think he struck out 10 in his actual last start. He actually still gave up, I believe, 4 runs though. So that's why I think this actual line is like there. But to me, that is still a crazy line.
Great segue into a comment we had from Joe. Joe is saying he's on Bradley under strikeouts, probably because he's coming off that 10 strikeout game. JD put it perfectly. He still gave up 4 runs that game. I pulled it up here to look at his last 5 games, and he has not gotten anywhere near 10 in any other game besides the Twins game. The game prior against the Padres, he only had 2. The game prior against the Dodgers, he only had 5. The game before that, he only had 2. So he's usually in that 2 to 5 range. So I definitely think that's probably a good play, especially after him coming in off of a big game. We kind of saw this a week or 2 ago with Spencer Arrighetti, the guy from the Astros we love to talk about. He had the game of his career. I believe he had 12 or 13 strikeouts. He was getting everyone out, and then the next game he pitched, he only had, I believe, 3 or 4. So you see a lot of regression after a big game. I definitely think the under would be the play if we're taking strikeouts. JD, do you agree with me there?
Yes.
Hefe, you agree with me there?
I do. I like it.
The boys are on the under. So, Joe, good find. We agree with you on that find. Let's keep it moving, fellas, to the second game we have on the slate. You have mine and Hefe's favorite team, unfortunately, the New York Yankees, hosting the Kansas City Royals. Pitching for the Royals today is going to be Seth Lugo. Lugo's coming in 15-8 with a 3.05 ERA. On the other side, Marcus Stroman, 10-7 with a 4.0 ERA. Hefe, it's the Yankees. They got Jason Dominguez up here, but Verdugo's even starting to hit. They had a big 10-4 win yesterday over the Royals. They were down early, battled their way back, and the bullpen actually did a halfway decent job for once. Any action from you on the Yankees Royals?
Yeah, I love this game. Shout out to Wells last night. Big home run late in that game. But interesting matchup between the Yankees and the Royals. Let's start with the 2 pitchers. Lugo, great pitcher this year. His record shows that. But he faced the Yankees once this year. 8 hits, 4 runs. In that same game, Stroman was also his opposing pitcher. He gave up 4 hits and 0 runs. So pretty solid matchup towards the Yankees that way. But listen to this. Yankees-Royals faced off 5 times this year. Yankees are 4-1. In those 4 wins, 3 out of 4 of them, they've scored 10-plus runs in. So for something with the Royals, the Yankees bats come alive. Give me the over of 8.5 here. I'm also taking into consideration Stroman's last outing, which did not go good against the Rangers, really got lit up. So I think both lineups can get to the opposing pitcher.
I like that a lot, and I know as a Yankee fan, we talk about this frequently because you know what's the right word to use about this? My feelings about Marcus Stroman. I do not believe he is a good starter at all.
Your
he pitches to contact.
juxtaposition.
Yep, and all he does is just pitch to contact. He does not get many strikeouts. He only has 100 strikeouts on the year. He's averaging about 3 to 4 per game. And this is a team, the Royals, that hit balls well. They do not strike out often. So when they're versing a pitcher who pitches to contact, I do anticipate there to be a ton of runs in this ballgame. I read this game the exact same way you did, F.A. To me, this is a clear overplay. Over 8.5. Seth Lugo should get hit pretty hard as well. And the Yankees do a very good job at hitting. The Royals on the road are a completely different ball club. Everybody knows the stats. They're 79-66 on the year, but they're only 34-36 on the road, 2 games under 500. They kill it at home. They do not kill it on the road. I think they'll give up a lot of runs and put some up as well. Give me the over with you 100%. JD, any action from you?
Well, Alpha, you know what extra time it is. Yankees overs.
Oh yeah,
Yankees overs. We have the actual model here is actually coming in at 10.1 runs.
Wow.
So for me, this is just a straight easy play here. Yep.
JD, we haven't heard about a total with this kind of variance from your model in quite a while. Your model's pretty spot on, and when we see those big variances, we love to play them. Quickly on the stats on the year, I did want to bring up that the Yankees are the 3rd best team at games going to the over this season. They're 80, 60, and 4 at games that do end up going to the over, which is 58%. That's 3rd best, like I said, in baseball. So the Yankees do play a lot to the over. That trend does help us here. Quickly to the comments before we go to the next game. We have Aiden asking how he gets in on that outlier deal. Check out the Moneyball Metrics Twitter. They'll be able to get the link there, be able to sign up, and everything will be posted on Moneyball Metrics. We have a couple other comments. This is from the Phillies game. Joe is saying he agrees with us and loves the value on the team total. He's riding. We love that. And we have another comment from Hottie Toddy. Can the Royals still win the division? Great question. Pulling it up here. They are 3.5 games back. I wouldn't say they're completely dead, but considering about a week or two ago, maybe more like 2-3 weeks ago, they were dead, even tied with the Guardians. They have fallen back quite a little bit, and the Guardians do have some steam. We are already through midway through September, essentially. So climbing back from 3.5 games is a little difficult. I wouldn't say they're dead. They can do it, but if I had to pick one team that is going to win the division at this particular time, I would be all over Cleveland. I do think Cleveland is able to get it done. And don't forget, Minnesota is only 2 games behind Kansas City as well, so they're closer to Minnesota than they are to Cleveland in first place. All right, boys, let's keep it moving. Keep the comments coming, guys. We love the comments. We're here to answer any questions you guys have. That being said, we're moving on to our third game, which are the New York Mets, who are visiting the Toronto Blue Jays. Mets are pitching David Peterson. Peterson's coming in with a record that I'm sure nobody expects when I say it. He's 9-1. He's 9-1 this year with a 2.75 ERA. JD, the pitcher we thought was pitching for the Blue Jays yesterday is confirmed to pitching today. We have Chris Bassett on the bump. He's 9-13 with a 4.3 ERA. Hefe, it is your breakdown. What do you got in this one?
Not only is Peterson 9-1 this year, but the Mets are 9-1 in their last 10 also, playing great baseball. I mean, I'm honestly, I didn't expect this from them. They are fully in the wild card hunt. They're actually, they're a game up on the Braves at this point. So they're really in it. Every single game counts to them. I know that's a cliche to say, but we are in the last 3 weeks of the season. Blue Jays 1-5 in their last 6. I'm not in love with the number. It's a little fishy at -130 for the Mets money line when you just go over the numbers here. But I got to ride with the hotter team. I'm taking the Mets on the money line.
And a team that has something to play for. This is the exact line that we had yesterday, and it was one of my best bets. We did cash that. The Mets won at 3-2. I'm playing the exact same thing again today, guys. I'm taking the Mets on the money line. The Blue Jays are starting to fade. We all know that. Vladdy is now day-to-day. We're not sure if he's going to be in the lineup either. Bo Bichette is still out. If they do not have Vladdy in the lineup right now, who has been single-handedly carrying this team for the last 2 months, he has been, hands down, the best baseball player. I just don't see any way this Blue Jays team really is going to have any productive outings at the moment, especially with Vladdy not in the lineup, like I said. When you look at the Blue Jays' most recent performances, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they've lost 6 of their last 7. It's hard to back a team that's lost 6 of their last 7, and it has nothing to play for, and that does not have Vladdy. So give me the Mets. I'm all over them. I'll let it out early. It is a best bet at the -130. JD, somehow the model's going to tell you Blue Jays -2.5 or something, but what do you got?
No. As far as the Mets here, I will. Well, yeah. Just actually start off here. This is a hot team. And actually, like this time of year, we actually love to play on the actual hot teams. And then they happen to be playing an actual cold team. So yeah, I believe you just said what they've lost 6 out of their last 7 games.
Correct. Yep.
The Mets are actually 9-1. They're actually last 10. As far as actually Peterson goes, the Mets are actually Peterson is actually 9-1 in actually his last 10 starts, and the Mets have actually won his actual past 6 games. So when I first saw this line, I was thinking trap. There's just like what I thought, just actually like right off.
Understand that absolutely.
But then as far as the model goes, it has the Mets priced at -134. So with like the model showing me that, it's pretty much right on here. So for me, I'm thinking that it's actually not a trap game. So I am on the Mets.
All right. We have a 3-way family ride on the Mets. We will recap this tomorrow as we all are happy or all will be sad, but more to come on that. Let's keep it moving right along, guys. We're absolutely flying today. Next game that we're covering is going to be the Padres taking on the Mariners. Pitching for the Padres, an old friend, Yu Darvish, is back. Unfortunately, he has not been good this year with his 8.5 ERA. Or I'm sorry, 3.5 ERA on the season. George Kirby on the other side is 11-10 with a 3.6 ERA, but this has not been a typical Yu Darvish season. He has been injured. He has been away from the team dealing with some personal stuff as well, so he's had a pretty tumultuous season. Hefe, I'll let you kick it off. Any action in the Padres-Mariners?
Yeah, Padres kind of floundering right now. 1-3 in their last 4. Got to start putting together wins. Mariners are in a tough spot. they really have no chance at the wild card. Their only chance is to catch the Astros in their own division, and the Astros are playing good, so they got to start winning games. And this is a good one for them. Mariners are 4-1 in their last 5. They're 2-0 versus the Padres already this year. Give me the Mariners on the money line. Take this game.
JD, what do you got?
This is a very interesting game. And as far as the Mariners go, I actually almost bet them, but then I dug in a little bit more. And as far as actually Darvish goes, his actual first start back, he went 2 innings. And he actually gave up 3 runs. He had one actually minor league rehab start. He actually pitched 3 innings there, and looks like he gave up 6 runs. So yeah, he's just still not in actually good form yet. As far as Kirby goes, he's actually been like up and down. And then the Mariners offense has actually been pretty hot. Which just sounds weird to say that. But they have been, and you can get a total now of actually 7 flat. So I'm actually gonna go up and over that.
JD, my guy JD. When I see a flat 7 line, you know what I'm looking for. I'm immediately going to check out the total. I'm immediately going to see if that fits the over criteria. And this game screams over. The line is suggesting that Yu Darvish is going to pitch 5-6 innings, maybe give up 1, 2, 3 runs, maybe. I just don't see that happening with the way he's pitched recently. And on the other side, you said it perfectly. Kirby has been iffy. He's 11-10 on the year, 3.6 ERA, and this total is just way too low. You're going to give me a flat 7, not even a 7.5. I am going to take the over there. A lot of people, they'll see this under sitting so low, say, wow, great pitching matchup. This is easily going to be an under. And you know, if you watch the show, how we feel about these 7, 7.5 lines. A lot of the time they go over. It's one of the highest percentage of lines that goes to the over. So I agree with you 100%. That's why I wanted you to go before me to see if you had that same idea. And typically, like JD does, he's right on it and finds the advantage that we can find. And I agree with you 1,000%. I do believe we should possibly see Merrill back today. I know he has been injured, should be back in the lineup, and this team should be firing on all cylinders. Give me the over. I think we're going to see a ton of runs in this ball game. Guys, we are absolutely flying today. We have one more game that we're covering. Then we have our outlier play of the day. And the reason everyone is still here, we do have our best bets coming up. So let's get right into the last breakdown, which is going to be the Cubbies taking on the Dodgers. Cubbies coming into the game 74-70. Pitching for them is Shota Imanaga. He's 12-3 on the year with a 3.0 ERA. On the other side, we have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's back as well. He is 6-2 with a 2.9 ERA. Hefe, great pitching matchup. Pretty good game. I'm going to be honest, before we broke it down, I know we all had the over yesterday, JD, where we had that terrible pitching matchup between Buehler and Hendricks. We saw 14 runs in that game. However, I did think we would see the Dodgers put up more runs than the Cubs. The Cubs offense came alive yesterday off Walker Buehler. They scored 10 runs in the game. Hefe, does that impact how you're going to bet this game? What do you like in this one?
Yeah, it is. I actually, that is going to impact how I play the game. Also, it's going to impact that Yamamoto hasn't pitched since July? Maybe even June.
I think a little earlier. I think June. I can't confirm the date.
I have to imagine there's going to be some rust. Now, this is a huge pitching matchup. Imanaga, like you said, 7-1 away. Great away pitcher. Great pitcher in general. Already faced the Dodgers this year. Gave up 0 runs, only 2 hits. I'm going to take a first half at a JD's page. Give me the Cubs on the first half. On the spread here, plus 0.5, minus 130. Even if this game is tied 0-0 after 5 innings, we still get the win. I do think the Cubs' bats are hot right now based on what happened yesterday. So any lead, we get the win also.
Yeah, and I did pull up Yamamoto's most recent starts. The last time he actually had a full outing was June 7th. So quite a long time ago since he's been out there. He did have a 2-inning start in the middle of June, but that is when everything went wrong and he did get injured. So it's been quite a while. There's definitely going to be the rust factor there. JD, before I go into mine, what are you liking in this one?
Yep, we actually gave out the over in actually yesterday's game, and that went way over. For me, as far as the model goes, it actually has this at actually 8.6 runs. Just like I said on yesterday's show, whenever as far as Dodgers games, for some reason, the model and as far as totals has been spot on. So I'm just going to blindly bet this, and you can get it over at a 7.5. So, yep, I'm just going to blindly do it.
Freaking JD. I should have went first before you on that one because I am also on the over in this game. It is a big over day for me, and I think that trend continues. The Cubbies bats are starting to get hot. They're doing a little bit better. I do think that they've won 2 games in a row. They beat the Yankees and the Dodgers, so that's an impressive last 2 wins for them. On the other side, Dodgers games have seen some decent runs. The game in the Guardian series, they did have a game that was 7-2, and in the Angel series, we did see a ton of games go over. The last game that they played was 10-1 for the Cubbies. The Yankee series was pretty low, but last night, like we said, they had a 14-run game, and the series before against the Pittsburgh Pirates, they were smacking the ball around with a couple 12-run games, a 12-0 win. So their bats have been hot. To me, in this matchup, I am all over the over, like JD said, over 7.5. I can keep telling you guys I love that 7 to 7.5 line, but I'm not going to make your ears bleed by repeating it for a 10,000th time. It's in the range I like to target, and it's against pitchers that I do think will give up some runs. We said earlier about Yamamoto. He really hasn't had a lot of work since June. He did have a pretty bad injury, so he's coming back, and it's a tough game to come back in a pivotal series. You're getting down towards the end of the season, and you're a high-priced pitcher. There is going to be pressure on Yamamoto to perform tonight. I do think he gives up a couple hits, and we do not need a ton of runs in this one to cash our over. Give me the over. It is one of my favorite plays of the day. Guys, before we go into our outlier pick of the day, it's our collab pick. We have a question from Aiden in the chat. Who do y'all have winning the World Series? Hefe, I'll start with you. Who do you got?
I think if everything continues the way I see it, don't hate me, Yankees over Phillies.
All right, JD, who do you have next?
You know what? In the past week or so, I haven't really thought about this. As far as the Dodgers, you want to say them, but actually, like as far as their actual pitching goes, I'm not sure if actually they're going to be able to get there.
I agree.
The Phillies, maybe I know
I put you on the spot.
As far as Phillies, I absolutely hate saying that as a Braves fan. But that's probably who I'd say.
Yeah, I think the Phillies have the best chance. I'm going to be completely honest. They have the complete team to do it. They have guys with experience who have been there before. And when you look at the odds, the top 4 teams right now, Dodgers plus 300, a lot of question marks. Phillies, probably the most secure team right now that you know about. Then the Yankees, don't get me started with that bullpen. We're not going to win a single playoff series. Don't listen to Hefe. And then the Orioles, who I actually think have a much better chance than the Yankees due to their starting pitching.
Now they're way too young.
But for the NL, I do think the best team with the best chance is going to be the Phillies. You can get them at plus 480. To me, I think that's the best value on the board, and I think that they are the team that has the highest chance of taking it home. All right, boys, we're going to go into Let's see if I can get this right. And I did. Fantastic. We have our Outlier player prop of the day, guys. We are now proud to be partnered with Outlier. We did have a question earlier how you can sign up for Outlier because we gave out a winner with our first ever play. Yesterday, we did give out Breece Hall to score anytime touchdown. We showed you the reasons why. It was an 80% conversion on his last 5 games. Well, we had to find you guys another 80% conversion in their last 5 games, and that's going to be Cody Bellinger. It's his last 5 road games, which is the spot he's in today. We have him getting over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. As you can see, if we scroll a little bit lower here, you can see that little chart that has his right here. Beautiful. You see out of his last 5 games, he has been smacking the ball around. We all know what happened last night. And this is a game that we are targeting the total. This is this Cubs-Dodgers game that we have gone over. I think we see a lot of runs, a lot of base runners, a lot of hits, and the recent performances are showing us that Outlier has the best odds here, and it does look like it's going to be Cody Bellinger over 1.5. Make sure you guys are tailing that play. It's hits, runs, and RBIs. All right, boys. That does it for our Outlier POD, our prop of the day, but everyone is still here for one reason, and they are here for our MLB Best Bets. Hefe, special guest, what do you got today?
All right, I got 3 for you guys, 2 that we went over and 1 that we didn't. Let's start with the 2 that we went over. Royals, Yankees over 8.5. We spoke about it. Bat's going to be hot. Yankees in 3 out of their 4 wins over KC, 10+ runs. Next, Mets money line, 9-1 in their last 10. JD said it. They're 6-0 in Peterson's last 6 starts. Peterson himself is 9-1. Blue Jays have been on the play for. Give me the Mets. And the last one I'm going with is the Texas Rangers money line. It's an outright dog. plus 130. They're facing Arizona, good pitching matchup. Evaldi for the Rangers, Gallen for the D-backs. Rangers 5-1 in their last 6, 2-0 versus the Diamondbacks this year. And in Evaldi's last 2 starts, he's 2-0 with a 1.29 ERA. Rangers on the money line.
Love that. Hefe coming in with a game we didn't talk about, a big plus money play. We love that. That game looks like it's expected to have a ton of runs. The over is currently at 10 to 10.5. So we're going to see runs here, and I'm going to be pulling for the Rangers for your best bets. JD, you've been the man of the hour, the man of the month, the man of the show, the guy who's been dominating best bets. The people are here to hear yours. How many do you have for him today?
Let's actually roll with 2 again.
Okay.
Let's go with the Phillies. First 5, team total over 2.5. You can get that at plus 125 currently.
Love that.
Then I definitely like the Mets, but actually let's actually go with something a little bit different here. Let's actually go to the Padres and the Mariners game. Let's actually take the over there. The over 7, and you can actually get that as low as minus 105.
Yep. Well, JD, you stole my best bet, and I'm on it the same way with you guys. I'll give out my 3. First one, JD just said it, over 7, minus 105. In that Padres-Mariners game, I think we are going to see a ton of runs. I have 2 more best bets. I'm giving out 3, and the last 2 are going to be in both New York games. First one, Mets on the money line. We went over why David Peterson's been a joke out there this year. He's been unhittable. I think he's going to have another big performance, and that Mets offense has been banging and clanging. I expect that to continue. Blue Jays, no Vladdy tonight, no Hart, nothing to play for. Don't expect them to really show up. And my final best bet is going to be in that Yankees-Royals game. Give me the over 8.5. JD, I know you're on that play as well. Hefe, we talked about that one too. I think we're going to see a ton of runs in that game. Let's see the Yankees bats get hot, and let's see the Royals bats get hot. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. If you guys want to get in with Outlier, they have so many props and so many great percentages for you to check out. We'll have a link on it on the MoneyBall Metrics Discord, on the MoneyBall Metrics Twitter page. Make sure you check that out as well. Get in the MoneyBall Metrics Discord. Free to join, tons of picks, and the best community out there. Get in here, come join us, and let's continue cashing bets. Hefe, we really appreciate you coming on, giving out the picks, and stepping up as always. JD, I don't have to thank you. We do this every day, but I will see you tomorrow, my brother. Everyone, good luck on your bets today, and let's cash. Peace!